Okay, right. Just double check this is all working. Okay, right. Just double check this is all working. So currently you can see just out to the left the F-35 taxiing, ready to start its demonstration for the RIAT. So we have roughly about 10 aircraft flying today. Still continuing with the theme, fighter meet. And if you do want to watch via the YouTube on the Discord, if you go in socials, it's just been put up in there. You'll see all the same things that you'll see in-game on the YouTube as well. So, final minute to get in, and we'll get them. Danny was there yesterday in with the A10 and SU-57. It was my first time participating in the RIAT. Great to hear that it's many people. It's actually quite a few people's first time participating in a RIAT, and it is amazing to see all the different displays that people come up with the different aircraft. So here we are. Welcome to the PTFS RIAT, also known as the PTFS Royal International Air Tattoo. We're here for day 2, and on the roll now is the F-22 Raptor.
Never Patrol, Little Buzz, running Bravo. So this one's with Major Caleb Buzz, Major. The commander of the real PTFS Raptor demo. Let's fire it up.
So here we are. The Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor is a 5th generation single-seat twin-engine supersonic stealth fighter operated primarily by the United States Air Force. It combines stealth, supersonic speeds, extreme maneuverability, and advanced avionics to provide unmatched air dominance. The aircraft can sustain supersonic flight above Mach 1.5 up to Mach 1.8 without using fuel-heavy afterburners. The F-22 features 2-dimensional pitch-axis thrust vectoring nozzles that move roughly 20 degrees up or down for high agility and tight turns. Designed with a very low radar cross-section using radar-absorbent materials and internal weapon bays to stay hidden from enemy radar. Designed with, uses the AN/APG-77 AESA radar and sensor fusion to track targets while remaining electronically silent. First flew in September 1997 and officially retired service in December 2005 as the F-22A. So many may know the F-22 still flies throughout the US Air Force, but it is more upgraded variants to keep them in check. Federal law bans an export of the F-22 to other countries to protect its classified stealth and weapon technology, meaning that the F-22 will never ever get into the hands of any other air force in the world. It stays primarily to the US Air Force and the US Air Force only. Showing its high maneuverability skill, it's in for a high nose pitch, high alpha pass, holding an AOA of around about 15 to 25 degrees, which an AOA, for those that don't know, is an angle of attack. The F-22 is primarily known for its very stealthness and how agile it is for moving. The F-22 can be equipped with fuel pods above the below the aircraft on the hard points on the wings. Most weapons are kept internally on the aircraft. There will be bay doors on the side of where the air intakes are, and that hides where the missiles go or whatever other things it carries. Bit of a flare dump there. We'll zoom into where possibly those bays could be. So that's where those bays could be. A very good clip of the afterburners there, as it shows off some very high maneuverability. And there we go. The F-22 shall now come in for its final pass, and we'll get the KC-1 up, which looks to be ready at the end of the runway for its display routine. So a great way to kick off the start of day 2, and a fast way to kick it off as well. So if you look over towards your right now, here it comes for its final pass, the F-22 Raptor. And if we can have the Raptor hold out just for a little while we get the KC-1 up for its display. So, on the roll now from the left-hand side of the runway, the KC-1 tanker. So the Royal Air Force, also known as the RAF, Lockheed TriStar KC-1 is a converted wide-body tri-jet airliner functioning as a strategic tanker and transporter. 4 KC-1 variants served in number 216 Squadron for the RAF Bryce Norton from 1984 until retirement in 2014, providing air-to-air refueling and freight capabilities. Purchased in the early 1980s after the Falkland War, the KC-1 highlighted an urgent need for strategic air-to-air refueling assets. Converted from the civilian Lockheed L1011 500 TriStar airline, previously flown by British Airways. Out of 6 ex-British Airways airframes modified by Marshall of Cambridge, 4 became KC-1 variants featuring a large forward cabin, freight door, and roller conveyor system for outsized cargo. Fitted with underfloor auxiliary fuel tanks, giving a total fuel capacity of around 139,700 pounds, or up to 63,400 kilograms, to transfer to receiver aircraft or use for its own range. The KC-1 was replaced by the Airbus Voyager, also known as the A330 MRTT, which we'll see later on in the show, under the Future Strategic Tanker Aircraft Program. We'll see the KC-1 come in for one final flyby, and then we'll get the next aircraft up on our display list, which will be the B2. So coming in for its final pass from the right-hand side. A little bit of a wing wave there. So an early design for a tanker, this was. You now look at the A330 MRTT, it holds the 2 hose and drogue systems on the wings and under the aircraft as well. Taxiing out now is the B2. We're going to ask the pilot to go just straight to the runway. We're going to ask the TriStar to hold out while the B2 goes straight out for its display, and then we can continue on with the rest. So the B2 seems to be taking an alternative route. We asked it to go straight onto the runway, so it is eating into its display time at the moment. I've actually just heard this ain't the pilot for the B2. So, gonna sort that out in a minute. There we go. So we're going to try sort out the B2 as soon as we can. So if we can get the next aircraft up at the moment, turns out we've got a slight problem. So if we can get the F-14 up now, and then we'll get the B2 in when we have sorted out what is happening. Yeah, so a great way to kick off the start of the RIAT with a demonstration via the F-22 Raptor and then a show from the KC-1. And there we go, we can see the KC-1 has just landed in there. And the B2 is on the roll again, so whoever's flying the B2, please get out of it. So we'll just move on to the next display anyway, which will be the F-14. So the F-14 ain't there, so we're going to get the B2 back up again. The pilot has managed to join the server. We're having slight difficulties over here, but we shall be moving on as quick as we can. Ollie, loving day two so far, a good variety of aircraft. Yes, we have plenty of aircraft still upcoming in the show. This includes a display via the Black Hawk, which we ain't seen before. So it'll be the first time a Black Hawk has appeared at a RIAT flying display. We then have the F4 Phantom. We then have the RAF Typhoon display team. So that will be a replica of Blackjack. Then we have the FA-18. A Gripen, a Solo Turk demo, the A330 MRTT, the second tanker of today, and then to end everything off, the Royal Air Force Aerobatics team, the Red Arrows. So the B2 finally ready. What will happen is the B2 will taxi back and then taxi straight to the runway. So it doesn't miss any more of its display time. So while the B2's taxiing out, we'll talk a little bit about what's happening on Monday for the departures. We mentioned a little bit at the start. The plan is we'll have a full static display set up before everyone joins the server, so before every pilot joins the server. And then as the pilots join up, they can sit in their jets ready for departure while the rest of the jets around them depart. There will be no spectators allowed into the airshow zone while departures is happening. We just want to keep it to the pilots, as it will create a lot more lag, as we're looking to have around about 40 aircraft on ground tomorrow all at once. So that's something that's going to happen, and they'll all depart one by one They can depart in their own special way, and once they've left the showground, they can then form up with a C-17 that will be off just in front of Larnaca grounds, and or as we know it as Fairford PTFS RIAT grounds. They'll then be able to form up with the C-17, do a bit of air-to-air photography with it, and then they're free to leave, and that will be their departure over and done with. So on the roll now for its demo is the B-2 stealth bomber. Something we haven't seen in a while at a RIAT flying display. So due to it taking its time, Luna, boom, hi. Due to the aircraft taking its time on departure, how can I join? If you click onto our profile, go to our channel, in our bio it says join PTFS RIAT. If you click more next to that, it'll bring up the server link and you can join via there. Northrop Grumman B-2, which is currently flying now, is a strategic stealth heavy bomber featuring tailless flying wing design. It has a wingspan of 172 feet or 52 meters and a length of 69 feet or 21 meters. It can fly over 6,000 nautical miles unrefueled and carry a 40,000 pound payload of conventional or nuclear warfare. Now, we can't say too much about the B1, sorry, not the B1, the B2, due to most of it is kept hush-hush via the United States. But what we do know is it costs over $2 billion for each aircraft to build. It's powered by 4 General Electric F118 GE100 engines, reaches a top altitude of 50,000 feet, and flies over 10,000 nautical miles with just one mid-air refueling. So the B2 will come in for one final pass before we get the next aircraft up on our display list, which will be the Black Hawk. And there we go, the final fly past for, as some may call, the Flying Dorito, also known as the B2. And next up we have the Black Hawk. So by the sounds of it, that's the B2 flying over to make its departure. Good display from the B2. Rare to see this in an air show. It definitely is. The B2 is definitely something that we haven't had at a RIAT in a while. We don't tend to get it in very often, but it is definitely a great aircraft to see. Now, taking off to the right to start its display is the UH-60 Black Hawk. It will just do a straight-out departure from the RIAT showground and crack on with the display. Now, this is the first time we've ever seen a UH-60 Black Hawk display via in the RIAT, due to never really shows up. So, flown by the US Air Force and also been in service with very many other air forces as well around the world. Also used as their main Coast Guard helicopter. Into the harbour there. So, made by Sikorsky, the UH-60 Black Hawk is a 4-blade, twin-engine, medium-lift utility helicopter manufactured by Sikorsky. Flown by a crew of 3 to 4 members, a pilot, a co-pilot, a crew chief and a gunner, the aircraft can reach a maximum speed of roughly 183 miles an hour, with a combat range of about 370 miles. And we have another Black Hawk getting up as well, and the B2 has just landed. Just going to try sort this out a minute and find out what's going on. Flare dump from one Black Hawk and the other one's going in reverse. We aren't quite sure what's going on. I think what we are seeing now is a slight mishap. We have selected another pilot to fly the Black Hawk because the pilot for the Black Hawk did not show up on time, so we've selected another pilot to fly the Black Hawk that we know was worthy to fly the aircraft, and the pilot's just gotten up without letting the crew know, and it's gone a bit all wrong. But anyway, both Black Hawks will now come into land as they come in to the end of their demo. And we move on to the F4. Join the Discord. Where's the link? The link is in our announcements. You can join the link via our announcements. That will be linked to the game, or you can add the user that is also in announcements. So here we go, the second UH-60 coming in to land now. It seems to be flying off again, so this isn't right. There we go. It's working better. There we go. So, there we go. The UH-60 has finished up with its display. And we'll move on to the next aircraft, which is the F4. The pilot doesn't seem to be here. Just give us a minute with this one. So there we go, both Black Hawks have now finished their display. A little bit of a mix-up there. We'll try and keep the show moving as fast as we can. Can you just send me a friend request? To do that, that means I'd have to leave the game. And for me to leave the game, that means the stream will stop completely. So I can't add you back. The name is in the Discord announcements though, so you can join via the announcements. And there is a link if you can join via the link as well. So it looks it's a no-show for the F4, sadly. So we'll move straight on to the next demo, which is the RAF Typhoon display. So on the taxi now, the Typhoon. For the RIAT Typhoon display demo. And we'll go quiet on the stream here due to the fact that the copyright issued music that plays during the display. So Typhoon will hold out and wait for its given display slot, which is 18:30 to 18:35, and then we'll crack straight on with the show continuing. There we go. The Typhoon into land after its display. And we have the next aircraft on the roll ready. Huh?
There's one landing in a Concorde.
Yeah, I'll get that sorted. Yeah, whoever took off in the Concorde and whoever is currently flying around during the show of the Typhoon, we did see you because that was, funny enough, me flying. I will find out who you are and you will now be kicked from the game. If you are caught flying, it's a thing with the RIAT, you will get kicked instantly. There will be no warning. The only thing that should be flying is the current flying display that is meant to be flying. And at the moment, the current flying display is sat on the runway ready and is ready to go. And that is the F-18. It's dead on the time slot. Its burners are ignited and away it goes. So we saw 5 of these yesterday in the display. And there is music to display. So we saw 5 of these yesterday in the show from the Diamond back display team. Flown very nicely in formation with each other. And now we're seeing a solo display by a F-18 from the United States Air Force at high performance. So you've seen the display variant of an F-18. Now you're seeing the full burner and full let go variant of a display with an F-18, showing what the F-18 is capable of. So a little bit about the F-18 is a twin-engine supersonic carrier-capable multi-role fighter jet designed to handle both air-to-air combat and air-to-ground strike missions developed by McDonnell Douglas, now Boeing. It first flew in 1978 and entered operational service with the US Navy in 1983. Capable of reaching speeds of up to Mach 1.8 or around about 1,190 miles an hour, it has a maximum service ceiling of 50,000 feet. Featuring an internal 20mm M61 Vulcan rotary cannon and can carry missiles, rockets and precision-guided bombs on multiple wing hardpoints. Now we do have to apologise. We do have to cut our feed from the F-18 a minute. It's the same guy again. So what we're going to do is that. Sorry about that. That can't happen in the show. We're going to cut right back to the F-18 demonstration here as it comes down. Why? It's because the RIAT is all about showing off pilots. We have got pilots to do applications and they've done a series of flying hours, and this is an air show, not a commercial air show, and there should only be one aircraft flying during the show unless it is a display team or unless you have been given a display slot. So back to the F-18, it utilises leading edge extensions to maintain control even at very high angles of attack. So it's very good with manoeuvrability. So the name F/A, or some may know FA, 18, the F stood for fighter and the A for attack, reflecting its dual role capability combining missions previously split across different airframes. The aircraft have served as the mount of the US Navy Blue Angels demonstration team and gained modern cinematic fame, featured in aerial sequences of the Top Gun Maverick. Richard, do you have a link to the server so I can join? You can join the game via the Discord link. We have a link in our bio. If you click on to join the PTFS RIAT, click more, it brings up the Discord link. If you copy that, then join. You are able to join the server from there. So the F-18 finishes up its display. And as it comes into land, we'll get the next aircraft up, which is the Gripen. Now, I have been told the pilot wants me to ping him so he can fly. So in comes the F-18 now, sequencing the end of its demo. You can see the part for the carrier there. It's a arrestor hook underneath the aircraft. You can also see the bar on the front wheel. It's a twin nose wheel design because the wheel has to withstand high pressure landings, so it does not break under the immense force that the pilots have to slam the aircraft down onto the carrier with. So there we go, the F-18 is taxiing now. We hope to see the Gripen fly. If not, chances are we'll take the Gripen slots as a 5-minute break and we'll then continue on with the next load of demos. So after the Gripen, we look to have a Solo Turk demo. Then we have the final tanker flying at the RIAT, which is the A330 MRTT. And then to finish off the air show, we have the Royal Air Force Aerobatics team, the Red Arrows. So if you were here for day one yesterday, you'll know the air show was a little bit longer. We did kind of make a miscalculation on how many aircraft would be flying. We tend to try split it evenly between each day. So the plan was we were going to get about 30 aircraft in for, which meant there's 15 aircraft displaying each day. It turns out we ended up having 13 aircraft in yesterday, and we have roughly about 10 aircraft in today. So that was a slight miscalculation on our side due to having to get everything together slightly last minute, but it was coming together as planned. But we are coping with it, and the air show seeming to be running very smoothly at the moment. So currently we have the F-16 rolling out onto the runway. This is the Solo Turk demo. Now, I do not know if there is any commentary towards this aircraft's display, so I couldn't help you with that one. What's my favourite display so far? Now, I'm not going to be biased because that's not what we are here. My favourite display so far has had to be, I have to say the F-22. The F-22 to kick off the RIAT was definitely something so far, and high performance speed really gets the crowd going for the start of the RIAT. Plus, obviously, it relates to the theme fighter meet, and also the fact of crazy to see such maneuverability from such an aircraft. Agreed, I'm glad you do agree. So currently on the runway, coming all the way from Turkey, in a traditional colour scheme. Now, due to the fact that we don't have the actual colour scheme in PTFS, we're having to improvise. This is meant to be the Solo Turk display team based off of a eagle, but we are improvising with whatever livery we can give it. So currently a minute left till it flies. Ladies and gentlemen, on the runway is Solo Turk.
I have heard there is commentary to this.
Okay, so commentary is here, so we'll try make it available to you lots on the YouTube live stream and make it so you can definitely hear it. At PTFS RIAT, can you please accept my friend request? I can. Have a look if I can. So on the roll now, Solo Turk, and it's over to their commentator.
The pretty Turk of the sky, Solo Turk, is the crowd favorite. Are we ready to rumble? Opening sweeps like a falcon preparing to dive into its prey. Turkish Air Force on F-16 demo team. Solo Turk coming to greet you with our special rudder kick salute. All the maneuvers you see in the airshow are performed by professional sources pilot. Please do not try this at home. It's like the F-16 is drifting. Jet sound is freedom. Solo Turk is now coming in to push the limits with serial rolls. It takes a crazy pilot to fly 15 tons F-16 jet at the lowest speed, at the lowest altitude, while our jet is hovering mid-air. It will perform a rising his rear with the Cobra move. Now, Solo Turk Cobra. In the next move, our pilot will push the limits of human physiology by being exposed to G-forces ranging between -3G and +6G while piloting a 30 to 3,000 horsepower F-16. Solo Turk comes like a dolphin. We love rock and roll. With our next move, Solo Turk will demonstrate pilot Major Yas Indy comes to salute you from inside the plane. This will be the last pass of Solo Turk.
And there you have it. Solo Turk finishes up with its demo. Now, we do regret to inform you the pilot for the A330 MRTT cannot make it due to complications, but that does mean it will go on for a slight break before we get the red arrows flying.
Now Solo Turk is landed. Thank you everyone. Enjoy your show. Solo Turk, over and out.
So as Solo Turk taxis in, we'll shortly be getting the red arrows up to perform their part of their air show. They have roughly a half-hour display slot, and we're hoping to see roughly about a team of 5. Now, for those who follow the Red Arrows in real life, you will probably know at the moment that the Reds have been recently on their American tour. And sadly, at the moment, they will not be back for a couple of shows in the UK due to being stuck all the way in Canada due to severe weather, which is such a shame. But we will hopefully be getting a decent display from the Red Arrows here today. You'll be seeing an on-board footage, so you'll be hearing all commentary, all comms between the pilots and the different names of the formation. Regret to inform you, if you are getting a little bit tired of hearing my voice, I am commentating the Reds as well and flying with them. But we will try to make it as entertaining as possible for you. So we're just going to go on to a short 9-minute break now, just so we can bring it up to 7 o'clock. And then that means we'll be finishing exactly on schedule. So to take you through all the aircraft that have flown this weekend, if you haven't seen day one, we've had, so on day one, we had flying, first was the MiG-15, then we had the Chinook, then we had an F-15, we then saw the Su-57, then we had a Typhoon display, then we saw for the first time the Qatari C-17 fly, then we saw the KC-707 by the Omega Squadron, we then saw a grey F-16 solo display, and displayed very nicely was the A-10. Then we saw the F-35B. The English Electric Lightning sadly didn't fly. We then went on to a 5-minute break before going into the final path, which had 3 aircraft. So kicking off the second half, we had the Thunderbirds, showing a full display routine. Then we have the E-3 Century, and then making their debut appearance at the Royal International Air Tattoo PTFS ever, and their first ever display publicly, so we're happy to be their first ever public display, was the Diamondback display team. And to catch you up on what we've had flying today, we have the F-22, we then saw the KC-1, we saw a demonstration via the B-2, we then saw the Black Hawk flown, 2 of them actually, so that was a treat. We haven't seen the F-4, we then watched the RAF Typhoon display, we then saw the FA-18, the Gripen sadly couldn't make it. We then saw Solo Turk, which was a last-minute provider for the RIAT, to make sure we could even out the time slightly. Then we saw the A330 MRTT, which sadly didn't come. And now, at the end of the break, we'll see the Red Arrows. Carmelo, how do I join? If you click onto our profile, in our bio, it will say join the PTFS RIAT. If you click more, it'll bring up the Discord link. And if you'd like to join the game now, ready for the final display, you are able to go into announcements. You can either add the user that is in announcements, or you can join via the server link.
pretty display by Solo Turk there.
Yep, very and a very fast display and a very well shown. Can't wait to fly again tomorrow for the departure day in my KC1. Very nice. So the KC1 pilot is in the chat. Yes. So for the departure list, we can go through that now. It's following the arrival list. So we can tell you at this point in time what aircraft to expect departing and in what row. So the F-22 will be out first, then we'll see the Typhoon, then the Diamondback demonstration team will fly out, then we have the A-10, the F-14, then the RAF Typhoon display, the JAS-39 Gripen, the English Electric Lightning, then the F-4 Phantom, the MiG-15, the Su-57, the Chinook, then depart, and that goes all the way up to 7 o'clock. Then at 7 o'clock, the Red Arrows will be departing. Then we'll see the Qatari C-17 depart. Then the UH-60 Black Hawk. Then we have the KC-1, the B-2, the E-3, the FA-18, the F-15, the KC-707, the F-16, the F-35, the A330 MRTT, and the Thunderbirds departing last.
Sounds like that sounds like a very good lineup for departures tomorrow.
Yep, so departures is going to be packed. Each aircraft has a 5-minute time slot, and we'll plan to get them out as quickly as we can. Can I do the F-35B? No, the F-35B is taken by a pilot that has applied to fly the aircraft. So all aircraft have been taken for the RIAT, have been taken for the full weekend as well. So, looking at a jam-packed air show since the start, when's the next RIAT aircraft list coming out? So, usually we tend to post the next RIAT aircraft list before about a week before the next RIAT. We plan to do the RIATs monthly. So usually the aircraft lists are posted out a week before the air show, and everyone can apply through then. So we've just got 3 minutes left of the break. We'll then be getting sorted for the Reds demo. Carmelo, can I do the F-35? We just said that the F-35 has already been taken, so there will be no other F-35 flying in the show. But if you join the server, you can get in and fly ready, and if you can get to the aircraft in time, because it's based on a first-come, first-served system, you can fly the F-35 in the next show. Can you do the Chinook if you can get there on time? It's a first-come, first-served system, so if you're able to get to the Chinook in time via our application system when the list comes out, then yes, you can fly the Chinook. So here we are, the Reds are getting sorted on ground, so we'll just tune in over to them and we'll listen in to see what they're going to do. Okay, Reds, engines on, go. Reg, taxi, 1 check.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Roger, 5 Reds, check with taxi. Red 1, rolling now.
It's rolling.
are rolling. Alright, it's rolling.
And Reds go split taxi. And brakes on, go. Red smoke test, smokes on, go. White smoke, go. Smokes off, go. Reds check, take off, one check.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Roger, 5 Reds ready, Reds rolling now.
Reds rolling now.
Easing up. Flaps go, gears go.
Using gears first. And using left.
And coming left now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Red 10, commentating from the cockpit of Red 1's jet, funny enough. And we are planning to do a 5-ship show, and we are planning to do a high-top show. So this shall be a jam-packed air show for the Reds. We've been to roughly about 2 other shows this month. Still got another one coming up later on, so probably we'll see you there if you plan to be at that air show as well. If you are in our server, you'll see the dates, so you'll know when we are display flying. But I'm here to talk to you about this display and this display only now, and I'm here to get your eyes and cameras in the right piece of sky to make sure you don't miss a single part of the action during our display. The Reds have formed up into the 5-arrow behind the crowd. They're ready to display our great British colours of the red, white and blue smoke throughout the sky for the overhead entry. Red smoke on, go. Smoke has come on from the team behind the crowd, and I am proud to present that Red 1 has given me the go-ahead to start the opening commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please put your hands together for your 2026 Royal Air Force Aerobatics team. It's the Red Arrows. Colour change, go. Arriving in at PTFS speeds of 160 knots, the team of 5 are about to come up into a loop. And white smoke, go. And pulling up. The team is brought up into a loop, pulling around about 3.5 G as they continue this pull. The aircraft will come around about 1,500 to 2,000 feet at the top of the loop, and then continue out in front of the crowd, lining up for the next manoeuvre. And smoke off, go. Reds coming right now. The Reds are being brought around and they're ready to do the 5-arrow present. The Reds are going to maintain the formation that they are in now They'll be pulling around about 2.5 G in this bank over in front of the crowd. So watch as the 5 white nose lights head towards you. The smoke comes on. Smoke on, go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Reds in 5 Arrow present. Holding the bank. And tightening. And red smoke off, go. 2, 3, stack, 4, 5 on 3's wings. Let's go for the Concorde. Reds coming left now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Reds are forming into a different formation. They formed into the Concorde. During this, the Reds will be brought into a loop. Then we'll move into Eagle. You'll see Reds 3 and 4 push up onto the wings of Red 2. He's following in slot behind Red 1. So get your cameras ready. Here they are. The 5 white nose lights are heading towards the crowd now. They're turning in for the runway. The Reds in the Concorde. And smoke on, go. And pulling up.
Captain Smoke.
And Eagle, go. Watch as the formation shifts forward. The Reds form into the Eagle. And coming left now. Red smoke off, go. So holding the same formation, you'll have Reds 3 and 4 on 2's wings, 4 and 5 on 2's wings, 3 in stack, and they're bringing this in for the Eagle. And smoke on, go. And colour on, red, white and blue, go. Colour changes, coming left now. Reds are brought around to the left. The red, white and blue trailing behind all the aircraft. And Reds, white smoke, go. And smoke off, go. Reds form 5 Arrow. Reds will now transition into the 5 Arrow formation. And they'll bring it in for the 5 Arrow roll. During this manoeuvre, you'll see that the colours are reversed. So this time you'll see the blue on the left, the red on the right, and the white in the middle, as per usual. Get your cameras ready. It's the Reds in big 5 roll. And smoke on, go. Colour change, go. And pulling up. And roll. Ample. The Reds are rolled around to the right as they come around at the top of the loop at about 2,100 feet. Reds coming right now. And white smoke, go. And smoke off, go. Now red 2 will take the lead. 1 and 3 will fall back as they go for the crowd's most favoured manoeuvre of all time. It can only be the one thing. It's the tornado. So you'll see reds 2, 4 and 5 form up into the arrow up front. And reds 1 and 2 rolling around the smoke in the red and the blue.
Reds, leveling out now. Rolling up.
Reds, smoke on, go. Sully. Come on, go. And roll. On board.
Reds, burning left now.
Reds 1 and 2 rolling around the smoke. White smoke, go. And smoke off, go. There we go, the reds have just completed the tornado. And the reds will now come in for the serpent, so reds 1 to 4 on me. And coming right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the hardest manoeuvre that the reds can do due to their all-in stack. And they'll be brought up to around about 400 feet before being brought up to around about 1,000. And they roll in formation simultaneously around to the left. Keep your eyes front and to the left. Sorry, front and to the right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the reds in the serpent. The colours you'll see, red 1 in the blue, red 2 in the white, red 3 in the red, and red 4 in the white. Red smoke on, go. You'll see these colours come on as they exit the roll. And pulling up. And roll. Got change, go. And coming right now. And white smoke, go. Smoke off, go. Now the reds will reform as they come out for the vertical break. So all 5 reds will reform back into the 5-arrow formation. During this, you'll see red 1 pretty much break flat in front of the crowd. Red 2 and 3 in the red smoke breaking 25 degrees away from the crowd. Reds 4 and 5 breaking 45 degrees in the white smoke, breaking 45 degrees away from the crowd. So the final red is forming back up into the formation now. Over this, they'll do a loop pretty much above the crowd before they come rolling down into the vertical break. Easing down. Red, standby. And smoke on, go. 5 smoke trails off in front to the left of the crowd. And pulling up. And roll. And pull. Colour change, go. Colour comes on. Ladies and gentlemen, get your eyes ready and your cameras ready. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the vertical. Break. Break, break, go. And white smoke, go. Smoke off, go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reds will form up for the final manoeuvre, which is the cascade. And using right. And coming left now. A little bit right now. Smoke on, go. During this formation, you'll see red 1 change to the blue, 2 and 3 stay in the right, 4 and 5 in the red. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 white nose lights coming towards you. Easing up. Colour change, go. And cascade split, go. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching your 2026 Royal Air Force Aerobatics team. It's the Red Arrows. White smoke, go. Bring it in. And coming left now. So the Reds will come in for the landing brake. They'll pop off one by one. And then they'll park up. So coming over the crowd shoulder off to the right. The white smoke is still on. The team are in the 5 arrow. And smoke off, go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Red's 20%, flaps down, gears down. So we go, the Reds will come into land and finish off their display there. So, as the Reds park up just to the right-hand side of the crowd here, that was the final display for the RIAT, and the final one now until tomorrow's departures. This will all be live on the YouTube for departures. To the spectators and viewers that are currently watching at the moment, there will be no spectators and viewers allowed within the server tomorrow for the departures. Res engines off, go. Let us go. So there will be no spectators/viewers in the showground tomorrow, as it is all being streamed live via the YouTube. So that will be posted up around 6 o'clock, so you won't miss a single part of all the departures tomorrow. But other than that, a very big thank you to everyone who has participated in the flying displays this weekend. We do hope you have enjoyed, even on the YouTube and on the Discord, and wherever you are watching from. So without further ado, we say a very big thank you. This is the close to the RIAT Day 2 and the very big close to the biggest PTFS RIAT summer we have ever held. And a big shout out to everyone who has participated and flown. And we'd like to wish everyone a happy 2-year anniversary with the Royal International Air Tattoo PTFS. And from us, we'll see you next time.